Good morning, everyone, and happy Wednesday. It is Julie here with your TipRanks pre-market morning update, where we're bringing you everything you need to know before the market opens. So let's get into it. Alright guys, welcome back and thank you all so much for being here. This morning we have a ton of exciting stock market news and notable earnings reports to cover, plus we'll look at which stocks are this morning's biggest gainers and losers. Just before we get into all of that, I want to give you guys a heads up on the new community pages that have landed on the TipRanks website. Now when you're looking at any stock, you can jump into the community tab to leave your thoughts and hear what other investors are saying. So make sure you go check it out. Okay, let's get right into this morning's exciting stock market news. U.S. stock futures are mixed this morning. Currently, we have Dow futures down 0.05%, S&P 500 futures are flat, while Nasdaq futures are up 0.12%. Biogen has received the green light from the European Commission to market its multiple sclerosis treatment Vumerity in the EU. Vumerity is a next-generation fumarate that can be taken by adults orally. It is approved in the US, the UK, and Switzerland to treat adults with relapsing remitting MS. Headquartered in Massachusetts, Biogen is a biopharmaceutical company that engages in the discovery, development, and sale of drugs for the treatment of neurological and neurodegenerative diseases. Their stock is rated a moderate buy with an average upside of over 38%. Peloton announced that the company plans to raise over $1 billion in a new stock sale. Peloton says it plans to sell 23.9 million shares at $46 each in an offering that it expects to close on Thursday. Their stock closed up over 15% yesterday, even though newly issued shares tend to reduce the value of shares held by existing stockholders. Peloton plans to use the over $1 billion in expected net proceeds for general corporate purposes. Their stock is rated a moderate buy with an average upside of 55%. Shares of Uber are rising after the company announced that they were bringing back their shared rides, which they had to suspend back in March of 2020 due to the pandemic. They're launching their shared rides under the new name UberX Share, and it will be operational in Miami for the time being. With the relaunch, the company targets to bring down previous losses in its pooled ride segment. They did not provide any further details on their expansion plans for shared rides in other cities. Under the UberX Share Rides, customers will have the option to share a ride with one person. They'll also offer an upfront discount of 5%. The Uber stock is rated a strong buy with an average upside of 52%. Information technology company HP is rewarding its shareholders with an over 28% dividend hike. They announced a quarterly dividend of 25 cents per share, up from the previous dividend of 19.5 cents per share. The dividend will be paid on January 5th to shareholders of record as of December 8th. The company's annual dividend of $1 per share now reflects a yield of 3.2%. Their stock is currently rated a hold with an average upside of 6%. Now moving over to notable earnings reports. We have heard from several big names in the pre-market so far, which we're going to take a look at. And in the after hours today, we're going to hear from some other big names like Nvidia, Cisco Systems, and Sonos. Just this morning, we heard from Target, whose shares are down slightly despite beating analyst expectations. Target shares were falling as the company emphasized its focus on value as prices of groceries, fuel, and other goods rise. Their CEO said that the big box retailer is absorbing some higher costs rather than passing them on to customers, and that strategy could squeeze margins. Their earnings per share came in at $3.03 versus the $2.83 expected, and revenue came in at $25.65 billion versus $24.78 billion expected. Their stock is rated a moderate buy with an average upside of 7%. We also heard from Chinese search engine giant BIDU. They reported a third quarter loss of 16.6 billion won or $2.6 billion US dollars after recording significant charges, but their revenue did jump 13% and beat analyst estimates. BIDU said that AI Cloud continues to hold its firm position among the top 4 cloud providers in China, with revenue growth exceeding 70% for 2 consecutive quarters. For the fourth quarter, BIDU said it expects revenue between 31 and 34 billion won, representing growth of 2 to 12% year over year. Their stock is currently rated a moderate buy with an average upside of 43%. We also heard from Lowe's, who posted earnings and sales that beat Wall Street estimates and increased their 2021 outlook. They earned an adjusted $2.73 per share in the quarter on sales of $22.92 billion. Analysts were expecting $2.35 on sales of $22.08 billion. The company said it expects fiscal year revenue of about $95 billion, higher than analyst forecast and above its own forecast of about $92 billion. Their stock is currently rated a strong buy with a slight downside potential. Recent ratings range from a downside of 5% to an upside of over 8%. And yesterday we heard from Rackspace Technology, who reported better than expected results. For their third quarter, Rackspace reported revenue of $763 million, which was up 12% from a year ago and ahead of both the company's guidance range and the street's estimates. Their adjusted earnings were 25 cents per share at the high end of their guidance range and a penny better than the consensus. Their stock is currently rated a strong buy with an average upside of over 42%. Now let's take a look at which stocks are this morning's biggest gainers and losers. Our biggest gainers this morning are led by EV company Canoo, who reported their third quarter earnings and announced that they're going to begin production of their first vehicle sooner than expected. Under the ticker GOEV, they're up over 26%. They're followed by BIIB Biotechnology under the ticker VIR. Their stock is up nearly 11% after it was announced that the U.S. has signed contracts worth about $1 billion for doses of their COVID-19 treatment. And Lucid Group under the ticker LCID. Their stock is up over 10% after the company reported their third quarter earnings and confirmed their production plans for next year and that they're still on track to build 20,000 vehicles. Our biggest losers this morning are led by Atea Pharmaceuticals after it was announced that Roche was walking away from their partnership. Under the ticker AVIR, they're currently down over 15%. They're followed by D-Local under the ticker DLO, down 11.5% after the company's earnings report, and StoneCo under the ticker STNE, also down about 11% following their financial results. So that is going to be everything for Wednesday's pre-market morning update, bringing you up to speed with what you need to know before that opening bell. If you made it to the end of today's video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and say good morning in the comments down below. I always love hearing from you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you back here next time.